So thank you, Mateus. Great. So again, good afternoon, and thanks everyone for being here today. This is namely Veiva and Marian. So this is Pablo Garrido, investment principal at EAT Urban Mobility. And by means of introductions, I would like to share with you a little presentation that we have prepared in order to go through the call for proposal that was launched in April 2024. In order to, of course, navigate through the different questions, the different topics, the different, of course, doubts that often arise when introducing this very successful program. The agenda today will consist on these 5 topics, which are a little bit of introduction to the investment readiness program and our learnings based on the past cohorts. The second topic is the eligibility criteria and common questions. Then the third one is the call calendar and evaluation processes, and ultimately how to apply. I would like to stress that this session is going to be, of course, driven by your questions. So if you want to interact at any particular point, simply raise your hand, and please, Mateus, Karen, or Elisa, if they are about to comment on something, please let me know, because I'm not seeing the interface of Microsoft Teams now. So they of course have the rightful time to ask any question that may arise in the course of this presentation.
Just one note, sorry, Pablo. Can you make the presentation in presentation mode, because we see the preview at the moment?
Great.
Thanks.
Doing that now. Does it work?
Yes.
Perfect. So then moving on to the first topic, I wanted to, of course, provide a succinct definition of the investment readiness program. And this is basically a program which is designed to prepare entrepreneurs to receive funding from both early stage investors and other sources of funding. When we distinguish that is because we know that in the early stage funding cycle, there are mostly private capital sources, but also public funding sources, which are often referred as soft funding. So the idea of this program is to maximize the knowledge, the potential, and the network of early stage mobility entrepreneurs that want to, of course, solve pressing social and environmental challenges across Europe. And they, of course, need to be financed until they develop the business models, until they develop the first sales, and until they actually generate some sort of, recurrent revenue to take the company to the next level. So we are looking for organizations, for service providers, of course, for stakeholders, mobility stakeholders, who have a proven track record in the following areas. The first part of this program is the delivery of training, mentoring, and coaching programs for early stage mobility companies. The stakeholders also need to be somehow, of course, connected to the venture capital industry in Europe, and they must be accustomed to conduct startup assessments, impact assessments, and they must be knowledgeable as well about performing company evaluations, and preferably if they have themselves realized startup investments, divestment strategies, and investor reporting, this is also a great asset. Then there is an additional path, which is, of course, since we are emphasizing again on these private capital and public instruments, the knowledge and experience working with other European organizations, such as the European Innovation Fund, the European Investment Bank, and the European Innovation Council is a great tool to nurture with funding these early stage companies, which of course in some cases have either hard tech or deep tech, high tech, or deep tech elements in their business models. And they of course need some more capital in order to develop the first working prototypes. Then we also seek companies and organizations which have a proven track record supporting companies to secure these funding instruments through the EIC Accelerator and also the former programs, such as the SME Instrument, the European Investment Bank, and other both European and national funding mechanisms. And this support, this track record, needs to be demonstrated through contracts, letter of intents, letter of supports, agreements, and similar documentation. And this is a very important point because, of course, it's not the same to provide a soft support basically providing an overview of the different maps of funding support, both at a national level and also at a pan-European level, that actually haven't engaged into a contract with the client, with the mobility company, in order to be successfully securing this European funding. Any questions so far? Until can I move to the next slide? Great. So, perfect. So a little bit more about our profile as an impact investor. EH Urban Mobility has the ambition to become the reference impact investor in Europe for all mobility companies. Therefore, we focus on three main dimensions, which is sustainability, team diversity, especially when it comes to gender diversity, and core sustainable development goals, SDGs, which are the most kind of valuable cornerstones of our investment thesis, focusing on early stage companies. We are leading activities which are related to investments and programs that support startups in general. We have an investment thesis and a portfolio building strategy, which is diversifying from our investments in terms of maturity, in terms of geography, sector, business model, and other factors. And we always support companies which are contributing positively to the environment. That's why we actually run impact assessments through a platform which is called Upright. One of the main objectives of these activities, of our activities in Impact Ventures, is to help businesses to become successful. And of course, the investment readiness program is absolutely pillar in order to strengthen the EHC action in this direction. So in other words, and being very focused on the main scope of the investment readiness program, is a training, a support program on being prepared to attract investors. So therefore, like interested parties to deliver and to be part of this program must have a strong network within the European early stage investor community. And this mostly encompasses impact investors, seed funds, business angel networks, and other early stage investors. And of course, it's absolutely fundamental to prove that they also have knowledge about the urban mobility space and the underlying technologies which are also required. Therefore, the three main, let's say, pieces and deliverables of this program, of this call for proposals, is that in order to achieve the call objectives, the proposal submitted must have a clear work plan that covers the following activities. The first one is the scouting, the selection, and the recruitment of European mobility ventures. The second is delivering an effective training program for these selected and recruited startups, and ultimately effectively connect the trained startups with potential investors by organizing normally either an investor day or a demo day or similar. And this is something in which you, of course, can measure the effectiveness of the program, because this can measure the pre-readiness in terms of investment readiness level before joining the program, and ultimately after the graduation of the program. And this is something that, of course, can somehow gradually increase the investment readiness of the supported companies. Therefore, the proposal must include a plan that foresees 3 rounds of startup scouting and training. When we say 3 rounds, it's basically 3 cohorts. So therefore, the first round, the first cohort, to be executed in 2024, basically in semester 2, 2024, should support a minimum of 13 startups. And when we say a minimum of 13 startups, is that the service provider, the organization that gets awarded with this call, needs to prove that 13 companies have been recruited, and they need to sign a participation agreement and, of course, graduate from the program. If a company drops during the celebration of the program, then this will not be considered as a supported company. The second and the third cohorts to be executed in semester 1 and semester 2, 2025, should support a minimum of 15 startups each. So in total, the 3 different cohorts must support at least 43 European mobility startups. And this is one of the KPIs that will be measured after the termination of the program. I want to make a hard stop in here because the next model is, this is an additional basically takeaway, which is very important, because the minimum of these 43 supported startups will be asked to contribute to our financial sustainability mechanism. So different to conventional acceleration programs or scale-up programs where companies participate and they don't actually give out any equity to the participating organization. In this case, in the investment readiness program, every single company supported by the investment readiness program should give 1% of their fully diluted stake to EHE Urban Mobility. And this can be pursued either via donation or an equivalent investment instrument but after the graduation of the program. So basically, after the semester 2 2024 program, the 13 companies must have signed first the participation agreement and second, the actual term sheet, allocating 1% of their fully diluted shares in favor of EHE Urban Mobility. And these are that's why in the selected startups, they are required to sign this simple participation agreement, which basically outline the details of this agreement. The EHE Urban Mobility financial sustainability mechanism is mandatory, so this is not an optional item for the interested parties to include in their proposals. Without this, we will be unable to formally engage with the different organizations, the different companies interested in delivering this program. Now we are talking about the eligibility criteria and common questions. So I want to make a hard stop in here before I actually give out the word to my colleague Karen, because she will be the one covering this slide. Are there any questions in the chat or any hand raised?
No. So
perfect, Karen. So floor is yours.
Thank you. So yes, I'm Karen. I'm the business control manager at Impact Ventures in EHE Urban Mobility. And I will walk you through the eligibility, the call calendar, and the evaluation process and criteria in order to be transparent in how we will evaluate the proposal. So as for the eligibility, so this call is open to legal entities established in the member state of the European Union and or third countries associated with Horizon Europe, including UK. These legal entities can be SMEs, universities, research and technology organizations, city or large businesses, etc. All proposals must be composed by 2 independent legal entities, unless there's one mono-beneficiary, which means one partner can show that they can have or demonstrate a pan-European outreach, because that's very important, and that's why we have the requirement of at least 2 legal entities. But again, if one can show it, we can it may be accepted. As for Swiss entities, they can apply and participate, but will only receive up to 59K in funding among the whole business plan. But if they want to participate, they will participate on. Can you change to the next slide, please? Or is there any questions regarding the eligibility? No? Okay. So here we have the call calendar. As you see, this was opened on April 19 and it will be closed. Sorry, you changed. Will be closed on June 19 at 5 o'clock Central European Time. This is important to remember because any proposal that is submitted after this time will be automatically ineligible. So keep track on the date and time. And then we have the admissibility and eligibility check, which will be done in June. And evaluation and communication of results, which is expected to be communicated late July and early August. And so if we look into each step a bit closer, and if you could change the slide, yes. As we saw in the previous slide, the first step is the admissibility and eligibility check. This check is carried out by our EHE Urban Mobility program or PMO, program. I don't remember the full name. Sorry.
Management Office.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And the check that they carry out is basically that the proposal is fully completed and submitted in time, and that the partnership is eligible, as we saw before, and that the KPI are correctly addressed, and as we have seen, or as outlined in the call manual, this call have 2 mandatory KPIs, which are supported startup, and as Pablo said, the minimum is 43 among the whole business period. Sorry, the project plan, and then we have investment attractive, which is set to 1.5 million, also throughout the whole project plan. And then there can be some proposal can have some minor missing information. And in those cases, PMO will reach out to the applicant and request this missing information. And in those cases, the applicant have up to 5 days to submit the pending information or documents, which is known as a cure period. If that is solved correctly, they will proceed with the evaluation. However, for those proposals that are declared as ineligible, they will be informed after this step. And also just to mention that in this case, the applicant has the right to appeal, and we have an appeal procedure process in place, which is submitted on our homepage during the call page, so you can have a look at it. But basically, the applicant has 5 days to appeal from the communication day. And then the next step is the quality evaluation. So this will be done by 3 external evaluators, meaning that each proposal will be evaluated by 3 different persons, and each of them will conduct an individual evaluation report. In this step, and rapporteur and quality controller will also be assigned and will participate in the consensus meeting, which is the next step. So here the 3 external evaluators together with the rapporteur to consensus and prepare, and the rapporteur will prepare the summary evaluation report that contains the final evaluation of the applicant. And then we have the portfolio selection. So basically the cell and the evaluation results will be provided to the selection committee, who will carry out the portfolio selection. We will have a look into a bit later what each step consists of. But the selection committee will be composed by 3 EIT urban mobility members. And here they can pre-select a project with some conditions. Then we have the final step, which is the communication of the result. So each applicant will receive this summary evaluation report that has been conducted through the whole process. So we'll receive that, and also the conditions that have been set to the applicant by the selection committee, if any. So if so, the applicant has 1 month to submit or clear the conditions, and after this month, if it has been successfully cleared, and the applicant will be officially selected. So this month is the 1 month condition period. And that's for the main principles. Can you change to the next one, Pablo? So here we have the evaluation process consists of 4 steps. And the first step is the strategic fit, which as you can see consists of 3 some questions, and these are basically more quality-related questions. That is why the first step is done by EIT Urban Mobility members, and basically this leads to EIT Urban Mobility strategy and also impact vendors strategy is being assessed. Each proposal must score 9 points or above in order to go to the next step, which is the full evaluation. And yeah, if a proposal score less, means that there's no strategic fit, so yeah, it will not be evaluated any further. So if we change to the next one. Yeah, the next step is the full evaluation process, which also consists of 3 criteria, which is excellence, impact, and implementation. And those criteria are for all horizontal projects. So in excellence, we look for novelty and innovation on 25 points. And under impact, we look at social impact and economic, financial, and general sustainability, also 25 points. And implementation, we look at the planning and the sound of financial management. And yeah, also 25. And so all of these together with the strategic fit is 90 points. And then if we change to the next one. Yeah, so the next step is the portfolio selection. So here the selection committee will be able to assign additional 15 points based on the following criteria, which business intelligence, dimensions, and portfolio fit. On the business intelligence, we basically look at any track record or issues or concerns raised by the selection committee with the proposal. You mentioned that there's a pan-European outreach in the scouting process, and also portfolio fit. We look if it's complementary to existing projects and etc. So together, the full evaluation or the whole selection process is 105 points altogether. And yes, that's all for me. So I will give, if there is no questions, I see there's some. Yeah. Is there any questions? No. Okay. And yes, I will give the floor to my colleague Elisa. I will comment more the technical part and how to.
Yes, thank you. I will actually take control. Let's see if it works, so then I can go through the presentation without disturbing Pablo. So I'm Elisa Kerschbaumer. I work for the Project Management Office at EIT Mobility, and I just wanted to give you a few information about how you practically can apply for this call. So on the call website, you can find a guidance for applicants where you can see step by step all you need to do in the platform, and you can also see how the application form looks like. You find the link also here in the presentation. So we invite you to really look into the guidance if you want to apply for the call, because you can find all the key information there. We don't go through all the steps now. We just wanted to give you a broad idea of what you need to do. I don't know why the slide doesn't move.
I'll support you. I'll support you.
Okay, I don't know why, even though I have control, it doesn't work.
No,
so the key points will be the first step is the fact that in order to apply for the call, you must have a PIC number. So if you already applied in the past for either Horizon Europe proposal or for any call within EIT, EIT Mobility or with other KICs, you probably already have a PIC number. If not, you should go into the EU funding and tender portal of the European Commission, register your organization. It takes about 10 minutes maximum. And at that point, you will receive a PIC number. Remember that having a PIC number is mandatory to apply for the call, because you need to have a PIC number in order to register in our platform. Without a PIC number, you will not be able to register in the platform. Registering in our platform means to submit a partner information form, so a PIF, In this case, again, you have to include some information of your company, including the PIC number you previously received. Remember that the registration in the portal doesn't happen automatically. So you register, you submit the PIF. At that point, our service desk will review your data and grant you access in the system. So you will have a buffer of a few hours before you can actually enter the portal and submit an application form. If you already applied in the past for an EIT mobility call, let us know. You can write a message to PMO. You find the address at the end of the presentation, and we will grant you directly access, because in that case, we already imported your data in the system, and therefore you will be able to enter with just a login and password. We can move to the next slide. So how to apply then? Here you find just a brief screenshot, but as I said, you find then all the details in the guidance. So you log into the NetSuite platform, and then you will find the IRP call in the open calls. So you just find it there, and you only need to click to apply. At that point, the application form will be open and will be ready for you to be edited. Next slide. The application form is then divided into 6 different sections. And again, in the guidance, you find all the details. You see all the screenshots of the information you have to fill in and how you have to fill it in. Here, I just wanted to briefly remind you what are the key important information for each of these sections. So you will have a main information section where you have the project title, abstract, and the project start and end dates. Remember that as we wrote in the call manual, your project can start at the earliest on the 1st of September and must end at the latest 31st December 2024. So maximum 6-month-long project will be admitted. If it's shorter, it's of course okay, but keep in mind what Pablo presented at the beginning. So we need to have these 3 rounds of selection of startup support. Therefore, you must have enough time to run these three rounds. In the second tab, partner information, you will have to describe the consortium composition and the description of the partners involved in the project. As said already before, for this call, we exceptionally accept also mono-beneficiary, so a call proposal that it's only involving one partner. But in that sense, you have to demonstrate a wide and consolidated European outreach. So we invite you to stress this capability in the section of the application form. Under the project scope tab, you will find all the specific question about this call. So this is actually the biggest part of the application form. You will find several questions which are linked to excellence, impact, implementation of your proposal. So you will have to explain what is the experience and the knowledge of the partnership, what are the impact of your project, and describe the content and the quality of the action you plan to implement. We suggest you don't write too much there, but please make sure that all the key information are included into this part, because this is basically the core part also for our evaluators to understand if you have the capability to carry out the action and if the proposal you have in mind is of good quality or not. Next slide. Here you see the other 3 sections of the proposal. So one is the work plan, and this is a more, let's say, technical tab, because we will ask you to build the project structure. So you will have to create the work packages, link specific deliverables to each work package, include the key performance indicator of your proposal, the outputs, and the milestone. Here, a few comments. So please don't include too many work packages. 3, 4, it's more than enough. To be honest, looking at what Pablo presented, 3 could be covering already the main steps of the project. So selecting the startup, supporting them, and then connect with investors. Deliverables, we have 4 deliverables which are mandatory, and you can find them in the call manual. So they are listed. So you must include at least these 4. If you want to include more, you are free to do so. But again, I would concentrate more on the quality than on the quantity in this sense. For the KPIs, you will find them automatically pre-assigned. So whenever you apply for this call, in the application form that is created, you find already the mandatory KPIs there. You only have to fill in some information, but they are already pre-filled. Regarding the budget allocation, remember that this tab, it's basically the last one you should fill in, because it's very much linked to the work plan. So as soon as you start create work packages, the budget tab will be automatically created somehow based on that, and you will see the different work packages. So once you have clear work packages and you're sure you're not going to change them any longer, then we suggest to start filling the budget tab, and there you can of course outline the budget according to the budget line and the work packages. The last part, the last tab, it's going to be the one about the, sorry, one step back.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. About the supporting document. And here we ask you basically to upload any type of information or proof about service agreement and similar documentation that can prove that you successfully supported in the past companies that have secured EU funding instruments. So this is what Pablo presented at the beginning. This is, I would say, one of the core information we need to understand if you as organization or your partnership in general has the capability to carry out this action. But we advise you to not upload too big attachments. So please only focus on the relevant information. Keep in mind that we have to give all this information to our evaluators. If you upload a document that it's of too many pages, it's going to be very hard also for them to navigate through that. So please only stick to the information that you think it's going to be relevant for the evaluators to assess your expertise. Next slide. And here, so just a few notes about the fact that, as Karen mentioned, the deadline is the 19th of June, 17 set. So please remember, keep in mind the deadline. If an application is submitted after the deadline, regardless of how many minutes of delay, we cannot take it in consideration. Remember also to please don't wait the last minute or even the last day possibly to submit your proposal, because if there is any problem in the platform, we are not going to be able to support you properly. Remember also that the proposal submission is possible only one time. If any of you in the past applied for Horizon Europe project, you know that you can resubmit the proposal several times, and the last time it's always the one that will be taken into consideration. In our case, it's not possible. So once you submit a proposal, you cannot edit it anymore and you cannot resubmit it anymore. At the same time, we kindly suggest you to save the application form as often as possible while you work on that, so you're 100% sure that you don't miss any information. And then, as I said at the beginning, any problem, any technical issue you may have during the filling in the application form, please write an email to the project management office, and we will help you or guide you through the application form if you have any doubts on that. And this is it from
just
my
one
side.
comment, Elisa. Just one
Yes.
comment here. There is a little typo. The email address is pmo@ehurbanmobility.eu. There is
yeah,
like
it's
I will amend it as they go, just in case they want to, take notes as we speak. It's only like a quick reminder for them to make sure. That's it.
Super.
Great.
I don't know if you have any question on this part or not.
Thanks a lot, Elisa, and thank you, Karen, as well. Now is the floor is for the people who have joined the session today to of course get sorted out any kind of questions and doubts that may have arisen in the course of the presentation. We have three different participants: Vladislav, Marian, and Vaiva. Can I please ask you to speak now? Because otherwise, if there are no questions, the presentation has come to an end. We will be, of course, exporting the recorded video plus the materials and sending them to you. But if there are no questions, I think that we can consider this as a wrap-up. Is that fine? Very quiet people in the room today, but that's fine.
I have no question.
Everything is clear. Yeah.
No worries. No worries. So again,
as I said, this is not a call for me, because I'm more interested as a startup company to participate later, maybe in the call which comes later.
Understood, Marian. Thanks.
Thank you.
So again, thank you very much for everyone being here today. Mateus, Elisa, Karen, Marian, Vladislav, and Vaiva. It's been a pleasure hosting you, and we will be sharing the materials soon after the termination of this call. Thank you, and have a nice day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.